Welcome to the White Mountain Education Association's Sunday broadcast. Today I'm going to be sharing information about the guardian angel, also known as the solar angel. For clarification, when the teaching references the guardian angel, it is also referencing the solar angel. But what's important to know is that this references not to your human soul. The guardian angel is a different being. It is your protector. It was given to you 18 million years ago so you could become individualized. Members of humanity then had a monad, but not a mind. The guardian angels came in response to a call from the Lord of this planet to save the planet. They came and indwelled in both men and women as a guide. For a long time, it was the guardian angel which acted like the person. The monad was concealed, and the human soul was in preparation for birth. Before the guardian angel, the solar angel, came, the monad hovered over the person. But this monad was not an individuality. The monad is a ray, which the teaching tells us is a breath of the absolute. The Pythagoreans believed it was the first thing that came into existence. It is homogeneous. It is the seed, the spark of the central spiritual sun. The numbers of monads are infinite. It was a ray activating the vehicles of the human being by its power. It had no mind, no individual characteristics. The solar angel came and created a womb for this ray and individualized him. As stated in the teachings, before a person is individualized, they are not a soul, and they do not exist as an individuality. When the guardian angel builds the chalice in our higher mental body, the light of the ray of the monad is conceived in this womb as the seed of the future human soul. And the seed begins to develop, light, love, and power. To understand this, imagine that the chalice is as an exquisite 12-petaled lotus flower made of fire. This egoic lotus is constructed by the solar angel using its own fiery essence. It is a vessel designed to capture the divine spark and give it a place to mature. Without this magnificent sacrifice by the solar angel, human beings would have remained trapped in a state of instinctual, animalistic consciousness. This is how the embryo of the future human soul comes into being. The maturity of this human soul will continue until the fourth initiation, after which the person will be a free human soul and lead his destiny by his own hands. So I'm sharing this morning some of the history about how the solar angel, the guardian angel, came into being and our relationship with that solar angel. It's so special and so personal. And I think of people who think that they are alone and how sad that is, because that feeling or belief that they're alone distances themselves from the presence of the solar angel. So if for nothing more this morning, you're going to learn about the history of how the solar angels came into being, and then to recognize that this solar angel is yours. It's not the angel of the collective humanity, but this is your own personal angel, your own personal guardian angel that is staying with you from that moment it was given to you 18 million years ago until you take the fourth initiation of consciousness. So here's a little bit more of history. The guardian angels came to humanity from what we call the Venus scheme as a result of a call that was sent out to space from the planetary Lord. Esoterically, Venus is often referred to as our older sister of our Earth. The planetary evolution of Venus was far ahead of ours, far ahead of the Earth, and its inhabitants had already achieved a state of highly mental and spiritualized existence. As a result of that response, at the third, there were two previous failed attempts, but at the third attempt to save humanity, 107 Kumaras came from the Venus scheme, along with millions of solar angels. So I'm sharing some of this historical information so you realize that this is not mythical. It's not fantasy. It is actually real. And we have the evidence that it is real. And this evidence is found in the Ageless Wisdom teachings. So the guardian angels, the solar angels, came during the time of what we call the Lemurian root race. Our evolution started in the first globe and the first chain of the Earth scheme. Evolution continued into the second chain, the third chain, and finally into the fourth round of the fourth chain. In the fourth chain, we have root races, 7 of them. The Lemurian root race was the third race. The fourth race was called the Atlantean race. The present race is called the Aryan race. The next race, the 6th race, is believed to be called the Aquarian race. So it was in the middle of the third race that the solar angels came, when human beings were a little more advanced than the animals. Once the guardian angels came, the human race began to advance very quickly under the divine guidance of the angels. The spark of mind was lit. Fire, the symbol of intellect and spirit, was gifted to humanity. This is the true esoteric meaning behind the Greek myth of Prometheus, who stole fire from the heavens and gave it to mankind. Prometheus represents the solar angels who descended into the dense sphere of Earth to endow humanity with the fire of mind. So this is, again, I'm reminding you, This is the history that you can read about in the Ageless Wisdom. The guardian angel does not leave you until you become an arhat. An arhat is a degree much like the degrees you can receive in college. You could say that an arhat degree would be like a postgraduate degree, a PhD. An arhat degree is conferred upon a person who lives in intuitional awareness. They see things from the perceptive perspective of the one life. We are told that because of the guardian angel's boundless compassion, it stays with us lifetime after lifetime, through thousands of incarnations, until we are ready to graduate from this school of this planetary life. The guardian angel, this is so interesting to think. Here, these guardian angels are so much more advanced than we are, than humanity is. And we have one of those assigned to us. So we have a very advanced being that is part of our consciousness. All we need to be is aware of this advanced consciousness and its sacrificial service, and at the same time to recognize that it too is advancing. It too is evolving. So even though it is millions of years more advanced than we are, it is also advancing. It has its divine duties and responsibilities. It also has its lessons to learn in galactic universities. In the teachings, we are told that every time the solar angel is babysitting us, it is also reading books and maybe watching events going on in cosmos. They are magnificent cosmic beings anchored in the heart of the central spiritual sun, yet simultaneously lending their radiant presence to our individual evolution. There is a story in the New Testament of which Peter was in prison, and his angel opened the gate and let him out. This is in Acts 12:17. In the middle of the night, a bright light shone in the prison, and an angel appeared beside him. He woke him from his sleep and bade him to instantly rise, to fasten, this is the old language, to fasten his cincture and to put on his sandals and cloak and to follow him. The apostle did so, for the chains had fallen off his wrists. Imagine this whole event taking place, and that it's recorded and is part of biblical history. Following his heavenly guide, Peter passed after the watchmen through the first and second watches, and when they arrived at the iron gate which led into the city, that gate opened before them of its own accord. The angel conducted him through one street, then suddenly disappearing, left him to seek the refuge. Before he was released, the angel went to a place where they were holding secret meetings. A girl who was inside looked at the door and said, "The angel of St. Peter is here." Their guardian angels used to materialize, taking a body and to demonstrate that they indeed existed. There's another story about Goethe, the great German writer. Goethe saw his solar angel sitting in front of him on a chair, and his angel spoke to him. While it is possible, nonetheless, it is rare. Just realize that it is rare for such events to occur until a person has passed what we call the third initiation of illumination, the third initiation of consciousness, and is now approaching the fourth. The guardian angel leaves the person at the fourth initiation because the person has become now a fully grown soul. At this stage, often called the Great Renunciation or the crucifixion in esoteric Christianity, the causal body, the magnificent chalice built by the solar angel, is shattered. It is no longer needed. The human being has become an arhat, and having completed their age-long sacrifice, is free to return to their cosmic center. The arhat has awakened the higher centers of consciousness. Their personal karma has been transcended, largely been transcended. The arhat lives increasingly for the good of humanity rather than for the separated self. The arhat may consciously work on inner planes while still incarnated physically. This is the arhat I'm talking about. And then their compassion and responsibility increase alongside their spiritual powers. I'm going to share 7 of the duties of the solar angel that's from the teaching. Let us explore 7 of the primary responsibilities the guardian angel, the solar angel, has toward us. The first duty is to inspire us with great ideas and visions. What's so beautiful about this is once you become receptive to the light and the love and the willpower of your solar angel, there's a new level of maturity that occurs with your beingness. It is a spiritual maturity, and it sets you aside. What sets you aside from mass consciousness of humanity is your frequency, is your resonance. There is a light that radiates from you when you become responsive to and accepting of this great being who is now guiding yourself. It's so interesting. I hear people say, I received a vision. I don't know where it came from, but it is the most beautiful idea that has shaped my life. It is changing my life. It is making me somebody new. It's given me hope. And even though I still have the same problems and obstacles and rejections in my life, there's a difference now. Those betrayals, those rejections, those obstacles are no longer serving as walls to my future, but as gates or as portals to my future. And I've learned to recognize and respect these difficulties from a completely different point of view. And that different point of view was given to you by your solar angel, by your guardian angel. So its first duty is to inspire you with great ideas and visions. To receive this inspiration, we must prepare our minds. The guardian angel communicates through our higher mind, sending flashes of intuition down into our daily awareness. But if our minds are noisy, cluttered with petty grievances, anxieties, and the endless chatter of the lower ego, the angel's voice cannot penetrate. There is a beautiful Buddhist story that illustrates this perfectly. It's so simple. One day, the Buddha and his disciples were traveling, and they stopped to rest near a small stream. The Buddha asked his attendant Ananda to fetch some drinking water. When Ananda reached the stream, he saw that a caravan of carts had just crossed it, churning up the mud and making the water murky and unfit to drink. This is our own thinking. You may have recognized the metaphor going on here. He returned empty-handed. Ananda returned empty-handed, explaining that the water was too dirty. The Buddha simply nodded and asked him to wait. A little while later, the Buddha asked Ananda to return to the stream. This time, Ananda found that the mud had settled to the bottom, and the water was crystal clear. When he brought the water back, the Buddha smiled and said, "Look at what you did to make the water clean. You simply let it be. When left alone, the mud settles and the clarity returns." In the same way, the guardian angel waits patiently for our mental mud to settle. Through meditation, silence, and the cultivation of inner peace, we allow the agitation of our daily lives to subside into that clear, receptive stillness. The angel drops the seeds of great ideas, brilliant artistic visions, and scientific breakthroughs that uplift humanity. The second duty is to unfold the power of your spiritual instinct or conscience. Sometimes people wonder why, even if they are alone, they are not lonesome. It is because they are able to communicate with their friend, their guardian angel. You can ask your solar angel questions, but do not always expect immediate or verbal answers. Sometimes a solar angel will make you find your own answers so that you grow and eventually become a free human soul. Many times you know you're doing something wrong, but you do it anyway. Who told you it was wrong? There is a center of consciousness that tells you that what you are doing is wrong. That is the whisper of the solar angel vibrating through your conscience. Often research for spiritual guidance and moral clarity in the external world, ignoring the profound light already anchored within us. There's a beautiful Sufi story about the mystic Rabia of Basra. One evening, people saw Rabia searching desperately for something in the street outside her hut. "What have you lost?" they asked. Well, she said, I've lost my key. So everyone got down on their knees to help her search. After a while, someone asked, Rabia, do you remember exactly where it was you dropped it? Well, it was inside the house, she said. Well, then why in the world are you looking for it out here in the street? They asked bewildered. Well, Rabia just smiled and said, well, because there's more light out here. We do exactly the same thing. We search for our spiritual key out in the bright, noisy world of external phenomena. But the key to our conscience and our truth is hidden within the inner chamber of our heart, guarded by the solar angel. If what the angel tells you is correct, and yet you do not obey, you are going to create great obstacles between yourself and your angel, and it will have a harder time reaching you directly. So, it will try to impress you through your dreams, or even through the dreams of others, and through your teachers, because you are far away from it now, and your communication line with it is not yet direct. The third duty is to inspire divine will in you. Divine will is very different from human willpower. Human willpower is often driven by the ego. It is forceful, it is demanding, and usually aimed at fulfilling selfish desires or even controlling others. Divine will, however, is the energy of synthesis, alignment, and supreme purpose. It is the ability to harmonize one's own life with the evolutionary plan of the cosmos. The solar angel slowly infuses the human personality with this divine will, granting the disciple the strength to persist through immense spiritual trials, to stand firm in the light, and to sacrifice lower desires for the greater good of humanity. It inspires the courage of the spiritual warrior. The fourth duty is to report to the master about you. This is such a beautiful duty that our solar angel performs. Have you ever wondered how the master can see what is going on in your life? It is because of the solar angel, which is to type up a complete report on you and put it in the Akashic records, the cosmic computer it is called. The master pushes the button and reads on the screen what is going on in your life, so to say. Everything goes into this etheric archive. It might report, this person is fooling around. They've deceived 3 people. They drank all night. They had an abortion. And they have harmed somebody. Or, this person was so very beautiful. They saved lives. They instructed people. They gave their last meal to the hungry. We are told that when we are 5th degree initiates, we will be able to operate this computer and read our own file across all of our past lives. Sometimes it is difficult to learn these things, but it is important because it guards us and sets us in the right direction. From now on, we must become careful not to register or to record things on the computer that will appear on the screen later and make us feel ashamed of our past. But this is so beautiful. The Master, we are told, does not judge. Only we judge ourselves when our eyes are finally open to the truth. Our solar angel is only a reporter, but is also very sympathetic and compassionate, and is a loving reporter. Every time we do something wrong, its heart is hurt. Yet it has no choice but to report exactly what happened, maintaining the perfect balance of cosmic law and karma. To understand this reporting process more deeply, we must recognize that this cosmic computer is an esoteric metaphor for the Akashic records. The Akashic records are not a physical library or even a literal hard drive, but a living, breathing, vibrational field of subtle energy that permeates the universe. The solar angel does not type words on a keyboard. Rather, it records the exact frequency, color, and geometric pattern of our every thought, emotion, and action. Even our most secret intentions are registered as waves of light or shadowy distortions within this magnificent esoteric archive. Because the solar angel is a being of pure truth, it cannot filter or alter the vibration of what we have generated. This precise recording is the foundation of what we call karma. The report given by the solar angel is not used by an angry master to punish us, but rather by the lords of karma to carefully design the curriculum of future lifetimes. If our file shows that we have deeply harmed others through selfishness, the cosmic response is simply to place us in future situations where we must learn the corresponding lesson of compassion. The solar angel, acting as the divine architect of our subsequent incarnation, uses its own report to build the exact physical, emotional, and mental bodies we will need to balance our past errors and further our spiritual education. We can imagine the solar angel as a perfectly still, crystalline lake. When we perform a beautiful act of selfless service, the swan glides across the water and the lake perfectly reflects its grace. When we act out of anger or malice, a heavy stone is thrown into the water, creating turbulent, muddy ripples. The lake does not judge a stone, nor does it praise the swan. It simply reflects exactly what has occurred with absolute fidelity. Yet because the lake is imbued with divine love, it constantly seeks to return to a state of serene equilibrium, patiently waiting for the mud to settle. This is the essence of the compassionate reporter. Living with the awareness of this continuous, faithful reporting profoundly changes how we conduct our daily lives. It strips away the illusion of secrecy, and when we realize that our every passing thought and hidden motive is being witnessed and woven into the fabric of eternity, by our closest cosmic friend, we are naturally inspired toward greater mindfulness. We begin to act with integrity, not because we fear the judgment of others, but because we wish to spare our solar angel the pain of recording our transgressions, choosing instead to offer it the radiant light of our highest, most loving deeds. The fifth duty is to inspire love in all circumstances. The solar angel's nature and essence is to love, unconditional love. The angel does not love you only when you are good. It loves you even in your darkest, most ignorant moments, such as a mother loves a wayward child. There is a Buddhist story about this kind of unconditional nature. An old monk was washing his bowl by the river when he saw a scorpion drowning in the current. He reached out to save it, but as he pulled it from the water, the scorpion stung him. The monk reflexively dropped it back into the river. A few moments later, seeing the creature struggling again, the monk reached out a second time. I can't even imagine this. Again, the scorpion stung him, and again it fell into the water. A young boy watching from the bank said, "Master, why do you keep trying to save that scorpion? Don't you know it has the nature to sting?" The monk calmly smiled and replied, "Of course. It is the scorpion's nature to sting, but it is my nature to save. Why should I let the scorpion's nature change my own?" The solar angel operates on this same principle. Despite the stings of our human stubbornness, selfishness, and cruelty, the angel continues to pour out love and saving grace. Religions, in their essence, have great ideas and visions that have been given by inspiration or by prophets like Krishna, Lord Buddha, and Christ. But because of misunderstanding and crystallization, humanity has basically changed them into a business. Nothing else. Religion comes from a very high source, but we misinterpret it into a business and fill it with hatred and jealousy and separatism and fanaticism. People try to tell us that only their religion and interpretation of the Bible will lead us into paradise, and that any other interpretation will lead us into hell. We see such ideas increasing around us in those who preach that unless we go to their church, we are finished, and that hell is waiting for us. This is called crystallized religion. The solar angel urges us past these boundaries into the realm of universal brotherhood. The sixth duty is to inspire creativity so that we transform people through our creativity. True creativity is not merely painting a picture or writing a song for egoic fame. It is the act of bringing high spiritual archetypes into physical form, into the physical world. The solar angel is the ultimate artist. When an artist, musician, or writer is truly inspired, they have momentarily built a bridge to their solar angel. The art that flows from this connection carries a vibrational frequency that can heal, it can uplift, and it can transform anyone who experiences it. The angel pushes us to stop copying the mundane and instead channel the beauty of the higher planes into our daily work, our relationships, and our problem solving. And finally, the seventh duty is to remind us of important events and dates and duties. Have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable urge to go somewhere, to call someone, or to change your routine, only to find that this impulse led to a life-changing encounter or saved you from danger? This is the guiding hand of the solar angel orchestrating synchronicity. The guardian angel is aware of the karmic blueprint of your incarnation, this incarnation. It knows the people you are destined to meet. It knows the debts that you are going to need to pay and the service that you are here to render. When the time is ripe for a major life lesson or a crucial opportunity for service, the angel sends a nudge, a feeling, a dream, a persistent thought, reminding you of your deeper soul duties. So in conclusion, the journey with the solar or guardian angel is the most profound romance of the human experience. It is a partnership forged millions of years ago, designed to guide the blind and laggard humanity into the brilliant light of spiritual mastery. As we consciously strive to quiet our minds, act with compassion, and align with the divine will, we make the heavy burden of our solar angel lighter. We will. We move closer to the fourth initiation, where the two become one, and the human soul stands in the universe as a free, radiant beacon of light. Thank you.